detection. So now that we have our area selected, we've got it timed out just right so it loops. Really quickly before we go on to the actual detection, we need to make sure that our timeline also can match up. The easiest way to do this is if we know just how many bars that we're looking at, we can come in and do identify beat. So this is going to change this a little bit. We're going to say now this is 17:1, time signature is 4:4. Let's change that. So now this actually lines up. Easiest way to tell if you got this right is to come in and say create a click track and then listen to the actual beat with a click track on, and you'll hear if it lines up. Let's make sure the output is right. It was not selected correctly. There we go. Okay, so that's essentially right. You can hear the click, which means that the drums are not perfectly in time, but it's not bad. We have a decent time tempo there for the drums, which is going to make the beat detector process even more smooth. If you have something that's all over the place, you're going to have to spend a little bit more time getting that tempo a little closer, but now that we have it decent, we can come in and do our next phase here. So I've got all the drums selected, as you can see. That's important because we're going to be doing this across all of the 4 tracks all at once. So now we're going to come in here to our detection, and this is now going to analyze each of those clips and put beat markers there. So with detection in normal mode, that means it's going to treat all of these tracks independently, but it's going to do them all at the same time. With collection, we can take one reading or one measurement analysis and then work with on the other tracks. So for instance, we go to collection mode, and then we can see that these options change. So add all current triggers to collection, which would be from one track after we have triggers, and then add only unique triggers or clear all triggers. And then we go down to other tracks, and then we can actually put them on those or separate based on those, etc. So we're going to work in normal mode though, because we're going to treat these drums as a whole, which is what we want to do for now. So analysis, we have enhanced resolution, which is your best universal mode here. Low emphasis is going to look at the low frequencies, while high is going to look at the high frequencies. And then once we have this, we can also do bars, beats, subbeats, or show trigger time. This is just telling us the resolution to analyze for. I always do subbeats, especially with drums. And then I click analyze. You can see the green line here went pretty quick. And now we can pull up our sensitivity. And let's zoom in a little so you can see what's going on here. But it's putting these purple lines on the analyzed beats. So this is what we're looking at in terms of what Beat Detective is actually seeing here for when we go on to the next step. So you can choose how detailed you want it. If you want a not so quite of all the subbeats and little hits and stuff in this equation, we'll then pull that sensitivity out a little bit. Now, all of this applies into our operation area. Now, I started with selection, went to detection, but the reason operation is first is because that's where we set our mode, but these two areas here are really important, and those are the areas where you start, generally speaking. So then we can say bar beat marker generation. We can also do groove template extraction. So that's going to take the groove here, which then we can use to quantize MIDI. We can do separation, which means it's going to cut all these clips at these points. We can do conforming and edit smoothing. We're going to look at these all a little bit more in just a minute, but I wanted to say that all of these things really do change, and we can also switch between audio and MIDI. So just a brief look at how then all the things we're doing here are going to go into the next tutorial, which is all about operations. So let's move on to that at this point.